Hi, welcome to the Drama Free Living Podcast. Lisa, we're back again. And this has been a fun sort of study really for us over the last couple months, and really about these communication competencies that we can develop, different capabilities, and almost think about like different tools. And, sometimes that if the only tool you have is a hammer in your communication tool belt, then everything looks like a nail. And you only have success when you hit a nail, right? How many times is it sort of a glass ball and all I have is a nail and I'm just directing straight forward, and sometimes I need a cloth, but sometimes I don't have a cloth in my tool belt. And so I like to kind of look at these as like different tools in my tool belt, different competencies and capabilities that I can develop. And really it's all about how do I show care with people and to people, right? How do I connect at a deeper level? And really the foundation of all of this is really caring for clients, customers, team members, vendors, our personal relationships, just across the board, so that we deepen the connection, really so that we become more collaborative and more creative and really produce better results into the world.
Absolutely. And our podcast before this, our last podcast, we really talked about syncing and being in alignment with other people and how that causes us to just be so much more creative and collaborative and make amazing accomplishments. And so that is really fascinating that we can have a symphony, and sometimes when we've got so many instruments that are involved in that symphony, it's just more beautiful as opposed to just having one or two.
Yeah. In this podcast, we really want to talk about how do you motivate your team. Now, we want to encourage you. We're going to give John Townsend's book, People Fuel, just a link. Go buy it. We want to encourage you to do it because that study really kind of fueled some of this conversation and really helped us understand and really develop some of these core competencies. And if you'd like, what we created was a communication competencies checklist. It's a checklist so you can take your own self-assessment. Where do you stand?
It's 25 skills, and you can kind of see where you're at.
Yeah, and just where do you stand, and then develop a roadmap and a game plan, because the way to develop a roadmap, a game plan is first you got to know where you are right now. So it really shows you where you are right now, and so that's our free gift to you. We wanted you to have it.
Absolutely. And today we are talking more about how we can motivate our team, how can we convey the good, and how we can develop an atmosphere of positivity in our workplace, in our team, in our environments, our life, really.
Right. So the first one you want to cover is affirmation.
Affirmation. How many times do you wish somebody would just said, way to go, or great job? We are so quick to point out those things that are, hey, when you did that, it really would have been helped if you would have done this and this. And hey, next time, could you include that report? Right. Or I need the link for the docs in this on this board, because it really made it kind of difficult to be able to have a conversation because the link wasn't even in there. And there
that's not very affirming sometimes.
It's not very affirming. Yes, that correction or that direction, those are really important. We'll talk about those in the next two podcasts. Yeah. But what we need is we all need just a lot more attaboys. Yeah. A lot more, hey, way to go. That was great. Okay, was it perfect? Absolutely not. We are not perfect people, but way to go. That was really, really great. And it's essentially, it's calling out the good.
Well, and isn't it like when you affirm someone, you make the relationship firm? It's like you strengthen the relationship. Affirm. I'm firming up the relationship when I affirm.
That was pretty good, pretty creative there, McIntee.
Yeah, because we're really connected, right? We're connecting right now, and we're really creative and collaborative right now.
So what's fascinating is Homeland Security has the phrase, when you go through the airport, if you see something, say something, and they'll be playing it over the loudspeaker and all of that. And it's very important, absolutely. If there's something going down, somebody had better report it, otherwise we're all in trouble. But let's turn that toward the positivity, toward the good, and say, hey, if you see something, just say something. I was talking to someone the other day, and this thought just kind of flew through my head that, wow, they're a really great human, and that they are super intelligent and super passionate and just a very driven person, but yet they're just a great human. And the thought just flew through my brain real quick, and I took the opportunity and I was like, hey, I just want to tell you I'm really proud of you. And he looked at me and he says, well, why? And I'm glad he asked me why, because I probably would not have gone into it. But I said, you're a very intelligent individual. You are very driven and you're very passionate, but you're just an excellent human. You are a great person. And a lot of times that drivenness and that passion, it's going this way, and a great human is going this way, and they kind of end up clashing. But to be a great human and be passionate and driven and is just something to be proud of. That makes you just amazing. And he was I think he really appreciated that. He was like, wow, thanks. That really meant a lot. And it was just, I saw something, so I said something. And it doesn't take but 30 seconds of our time.
I got to tell you, you are pretty amazing, because I never thought I could learn something from TSA. You learn everywhere, right? We're going, I'm usually frustrated going through the TSA line because why is it taking so long? Why? Right. And here you are. TSA has taught us something. If you see something, say something.
Well, it does help. My working genius is wonder and discernment. And so I am finding things everywhere. And so if you're not familiar with working genius, it's amazing. And we actually
our whole team takes it.
Our whole team takes it. And we have one of our team members is Working Genius certified.
Yeah. So if you need somebody to come in and do a workshop.
Yeah. Or if you need some Zoom training on Working Genius, one of our team members is certified with that. And
so just reach out to us.
We have found it is super incredibly helpful. And that's how I knew that I was wonder and discernment, and why I find all of these teaching moments over something simple like Homeland Security, see it, say it.
Who knows what we're going to learn today, right? What experience are we going to have? Okay, so the next one we want to kind of talk about is encouragement. And this is really, think about encourage. You put courage into people. And here's what typically happens is people typically procrastinate because they don't have a sense of confidence. And you really have to encourage, you have to put courage in people so that they can step out and try new things. Like, think about it for you. You probably don't do things because you're not confident, right? And so you have to learn how to use courage. And really courage, it boosts this confidence, and confidence is the key to taking on new challenges. Now, here's what's interesting. People typically procrastinate when they don't feel a sense of confidence, right? They procrastinate. I don't know how it's going to work. And really encouragement helps them step into those hard things. And so it really helps overcome self-doubt, because, sometimes people have to borrow a belief. I mean, there are times in my life where somebody's asked me to do something and I'm like, well, I don't think I can. I don't think I can do it. But they say, no, you can do it. I believe in you. I see your capacity. At least I'm thinking about a particular team member that we had her step out and do a Zoom training, and she had never done a Zoom training, and she was so scared. And I said, listen, you can do it. We believe in you. Here's how you do it, this. And Lisa, do you remember what happened a couple hours later? We got her on the phone after the Zoom training. She was on cloud 9.
And she was amazing. She did such an incredible job. And had we not kind of encouraged her to step out and do that, she would have never done it.
Yeah, so she had to really borrow our belief. So let people borrow your belief. Believe in people and let them borrow that belief. And then it really fosters a growth mindset, because you have to believe people can grow, develop, and change for the better. And so you have to believe the best in people and call out that best. It's kind of calling out the king on the inside of them, right? Calling out the good, and it puts this courage inside of people.
Absolutely. And another aspect, this is kind of another competency in being able to communicate well and foster collaboration, would be hope.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Hope is future focused. Mm-hmm. Hope is focusing on what's going to happen, and it's a reality based confidence in a positive outcome in the future. So what this means is this does not mean it's just pie in the sky. Okay, we have hope. We're gonna make $2 million as a company, and we can do this, and just pumping it full of that when you're only a $200,000 company. That is not hope. That is not reality-based confidence. This is confidence in the future based upon reality that something good is going to happen. It gives us a feeling of assurance. It gives us this energy to continue.
Yeah.
It's like, look at how well we've done, and look at how far we're going, and our KPIs are realistic, and we're going to be able to hit them. What's fascinating, and people think of hope, and it's like, oh yeah, hope, that's just really a really soft, fluffy, soft skill. But according to Gallup, so Gallup had talked about hope and the importance of hope, and that hope pushes people to be ambitious. Hope pushes people to become successful, and it accounts for 14% of productivity in the workplace.
So think about it. If you're hopeless, think about what that does to productivity in the workplace.
A negative 14% of productivity in the workplace by being hopeless or pulling hope away. But Gallup has shown that there is a 14% increase in productivity just by filling hope into the workplace.
Yeah, and so then another competency we want to kind of cover is respect. Okay, so this is very interesting because I think sometimes people go, well, they're disrespectful to me, so I don't respect them. And I think, you have to look back at yourself and go, I respect you because you're a human.
Yeah, that's such a tricky situation there.
It really is, right? But you have to be able to step in, because it really, if I disrespect you, it's really saying more about me than it is about you.
Yeah.
Right. And so I have to have my own value. And I believe there's an inherent quality, inherent dignity in just being a human and almost seeing people as equals. Right? We're all humans, right? We're all breathing. We're all on planet Earth.
We're all just trying to do the best we can with what we've got.
Yeah, and that is a great way to look at it, because it helps you stay out of your own drama a little bit. It stops helping you stay out of judgment and disrespect. And I think, people's contributions, they need to feel valued and I need your contribution. Your contribution is value to me. Now, when we have this disrespect, it's really hard to do conflict resolution, right? Because everything becomes, personal. But I think approaching disagreements with a mindset of collaboration and understanding instead of hostility. Because if I disrespect you, it's like I'm going to fight. And then it's all about a war and it's all about me winning. Right. And then you're not collaborative. When it's about the win and not about the team or not about the collaboration, then the best ideas don't come forward. And really our customers are the ones who suffer at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And what's kind of interesting, and I think we need to cover this, is the difference between someone disrespecting you and you feeling disrespected. And those are two different things. And that's a differentiation that we've had to bring out
in a lot of our training.
In a lot of our training and working with clients, is the difference between someone can disrespect you, but you don't necessarily have to feel disrespected. Or someone could be just going about their day doing what they normally do, and they're not intending anything negative, and you feel disrespected.
Yeah.
And so you can feel disrespected, and there was no intent by another person to disrespect you. Or someone can disrespect you, and you have the choice on whether or not you're going to feel disrespected, because people have their perception of you all day long, and people can kind of just be rude or disrespectful or unkind, and you don't have to let that water get in your boat. I mean, you can go and say, you know what? They must be having a bad day, and I still have a high level of value, and I still have a lot that I can contribute, even if someone doesn't maybe feel that way about me.
And it goes back to this idea: if I don't believe you're attacking me, then you're not.
Right.
Right. If I don't believe it's an attack, then you're not. And then you can't attack me if I don't believe it. And then it gets even further, because if I don't see it as an attack, then I don't really have to if I don't believe you're attacking me, then there's no need for me to be defensive and defend. And it's this whole idea, because I think when people have a wound of disrespect, everything's about disrespect.
And they see everything through the lens of disrespect.
So Lisa, we were just working with a client and manages this team. And she walked into the organization, and she didn't say hi to the team member, and that team member was like, well, she just disrespected me. So she kind of got that feedback, and then a couple of days later, she made sure, hey, how you doing? Hey, good to see you. And she walked by and she goes, why'd she say it that way? Well, she just disrespected me. And it's like, I didn't say hi, you feel disrespected. I did say hi, you feel disrespected. And so sometimes, if you have that wound, and so we have all these kind of circumstances, but I think at the end of the day, we got to step back and look in the mirror with ourselves and go, you know what, I do respect my team, and whether they feel it or don't, and no matter how they act to me, I'm going to respect them.
Absolutely. And what you were talking about there in that disrespect wound and someone just feeling disrespected and just living out of that. We talked about it a little bit in the last podcast.
Yeah.
Just talking about if you have a harsh inner critic, then
very
you're
so.
going to tend to be harsh and critical to those around you. And so those people that are harsh and critical to those around them probably have just quite a strong inner critic going on. And it's the same with respect and disrespect. If you have a harsh disrespect internally and a harsh disrespectful voice internally toward yourself, a lot of times you're going to be harsh and disrespectful to other people. And it kind of what flows from the inside just comes out on the outside no matter what it looks like.
Well, and I think the key principle is like no matter how you treat me, I have to look in the mirrr and I have to be happy with
I have to be okay with me.
Yeah, be okay with me. And I'm going to respect you even if you're disrespectful. I can't force you to do any behavior, but I can step back. And what we found with leaders and just people that can do this in their communication, they deepen connections all day long. They just have this inherent respect for people. And then it kind of flows into this next one that you wanted to talk about.
Absolutely. The next one is second chances. This is canceling a debt. This is allowing learning. It's forgiveness. And really, this is all about, hey, we're not perfect. So there is this cartoon, that's like in the newspaper that someone drew, and it's from the New Yorker. And is this huge, humongous office complex, and it's just one big room.
Yep.
And it's a sea of desks, and the desks are empty, completely empty. And there's maybe 2 or 3 people that are actually working in this huge room. And along with this, there are these 2 supervisors there in suits, and they're at the door. And they're in the cartoon. There you can see them talking to each other, and the caption below it says, maybe zero tolerance is setting the bar too high. Because there was nobody left in that room. And it was kind of a chuckle. But let's be honest, humans, they're not perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. We are going to make mistakes. And so why should we expect them to be perfect in the workplace?
Good point.
I mean, why should we? So with that, it's second chances. It's canceling a debt. It's just saying, hey, it's okay. You screwed up, and we're going to be okay. It's not the end of the world.
Well, and really forgiveness, me being able to forgive tells me more about me than it does about you, right? It really is a sign of a very strong, secure individual where you're able to forgive. Right now, it's just kind of maybe, trust is earned, but forgiveness is given, right? So you can forgive, but you don't necessarily I'm going to keep that same level of trust. But as far as like just not getting it in my boat, just being able to forgive is super powerful.
Absolutely. And there are plenty of times that you do need to fire someone. You need to fire an employee. It's warranted and it's necessary. But in plenty of cases, and honestly, in most cases, a mistake is a mistake. And an employee that is given a second chance tends to be more loyal.
Yeah. Well, Lisa, here's an idea is you can fire and forgive both at the same time.
So, and a lot of times you do have to forgive. When you do fire, you still have to forgive because otherwise that's holding control over you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so the last one we want to cover today is celebration. Cool and the Gang made it real possible. Celebrate.
I have not thought about that song.
I know, but it just hit my brain, right? Okay, so here's the thing.
So if you want to listen to the song Celebration, just Cool and the Gang, look it up. It's actually
let's put a link in the show notes.
It's actually a very fun song. If you just need to instill some fun into your life, listen to the song Celebration by Cool and the Gang.
Okay, but it's not a frou-frou, rah-rah, just a kumbaya. It really is positive reinforcement because people repeat what's celebrated. Right? Think about it. People repeat. And whatever you celebrate, right? Whatever you celebrate gets repeated. So what are you celebrating with the people around you? Because it becomes this positive reinforcement. And then it's almost this idea that the most powerful motivator, I think, in the workplace is you feeling a sense of progress. Right? You think about any time that you feel depressed or like discouraged, it's because you don't feel progress. And when I feel a sense of progress, Lisa, we just had a team meeting and we talked about all these wins. And we walked out of there. Everybody was motivated. Now, there are still constraints that we have. We still have obstacles, things that we're still dealing with. We haven't figured out yet, but we really stepped back and said, hey, let's talk about these wins and let's see what the progress we made. And even one team member that has been with us for about a year, she related back to like a project that we did a year ago, and we did the same project this December, and just how much better it went. Because
we had so much greater results. We just tweaked things a little bit. We did things a little bit differently, and we thought, wow, that was some great progress.
Right. So celebrating wins. Right. It's one reason why in our roundtables we have people create a system where they're rehearsing wins and talking about wins with an accountability partner every day, and they come back every quarter just so much more motivated, more confident, and then they achieve even more. So you can do it too. And really, I think this kind of balances the feedback.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes we're always just giving all of these areas for improvement. Got to fix this, got to do this, got to do this, got to make just changes. But also step back and, give that feedback, because feedback should feed. So it's not just about where you need to improve or change, but it's, hey, this is doing well. You're doing this well. Keep doing more of this. So sometimes, we play a game with clients in a feedback exercise that we call more or less. And we have team members go through the room and say, hey, I would like to see more of this. And it's almost like, this is what you're doing great, and do more of it. Before they go, hey, don't do this so much, do less of this. We first say, hey, do more of this, because it creates that positive reinforcement. So it's just been fascinating, Lisa.
Absolutely.
What's been a key takeaway for you in this?
Just motivating your team, being able to convey the good, the value of it. I found it fascinating, what Gallup had shown about how hope brings about a 14% increase in productivity in the workplace just by having hope. And that's pretty powerful. When hope is such a simple, I think sometimes it's a concept that is just kind of brushed aside. Oh, that's just it's so much fluff.
Yeah, I think, Lisa, for me, I think the competency that I want to kind of work on a little bit over the next week is this whole idea of affirmation.
Oh, I love that idea. Absolutely. That's a great competency.
Do you think we need that in our relationship a little bit? I think that would help our relationship a little bit. Very possibly it might, but really kind of firming up, because I'm thinking I have some relationships that are good, but they just need to be firmed up a little bit better. Even with some team members, I need to step in and do a little bit more affirmation just so that we can collaborate at even a stronger level. So listen, if you would like the communication competencies checklist, it's a self-assessment. You kind of find out where you're at, kind of grade yourself, and then build a roadmap. We'll put a link there, and it's our free gift to you. And this has been fun. And we'll see you next time on the Drama-Free Living Podcast.